So I just watched Airplane Mode, and many people were saying to me, you know, this is a really bad movie, you're gonna hate it. It has all of your least favorite YouTubers in the movie. I was originally gonna listen to those stupid normies, but I decided to watch the film anyways. So what did I think about the movie? I mean, what do I say? Airplane Mode is one of the greatest comedies of all time. It's funny, it's energized, it's clever, incredibly family-friendly, and just overall a brilliant film. I love Hot Fuzz, I love Life of Brian, and I love the movie they're trying to parody off of, Airplane, but it's not even a competition. And don't get me wrong, these movies are still funny, but they're still not comedic masterpieces like Airplane Mode. Let me ask you this. Does Hot Fuzz have forced relatable humor? Does Life of Brian have fart jokes? Yeah, thought so, kid. Why don't we go ahead and experience Airplane Mode together? Notice I use the word watch, because this film, just like Lost in Translation, is more of an experience than an actual movie. I feel like I'm flying with Logan Paul. I feel the sound waves of Lele Pons' screaming hit my eardrums. It's a breathtaking experience. I feel like I'm actually there. So the film starts off with amazing animation. I felt like a kid again. Late nights, watching Spirited Away for the first time on Cartoon Network, the beautiful animation, the stunning visuals, even that doesn't compare to the beginning of Airplane Mode. And yes, it is fair to point out that Spirited Away is an hour and a half long, and the beginning animation of Airplane Mode is about 2 minutes. While that is a very fair critique, I know for a fact Airplane Mode, if it was fully animated, could keep up the same standards that it had in the beginning 2 minutes. This animation even has clever symbolism. For example, we see Lele Pons and Amanda Cerny together, taking a selfie, despite the fact they had a feud because of Lele Pons' actions of deleting Amanda Cerny's videos. Clearly this image here resembles forgiveness. As God calls to love thy neighbor, he also wants you to forgive those who inflict harm on you. We have to remember, at one point in Lele Pons' time, she was a baby, an innocent, Latina baby. We learn from the internal conflicts of Flora Geishen over the totalitarian fascist Adolf Hitler. We may hate the actions of the person, but we must learn to stop ourselves from hating the person entirely. But getting back to the film. We are first introduced to one of cinema's greatest and most likable main characters of all time, Logan Paul. We see that Logan is chatting with his online Australian girlfriend, and then begins to masturbate. What a charming role model. But, uh-oh, someone intrudes on Logan's privacy, and we learn that it's his brother. Well, his foreign exchange brother. This scene is funny and all, but we must look at the deeper meaning behind it. This intrusion of privacy reminds me a lot of the 2013 mass surveillance scandal. This scene is basically telling us that we shouldn't forget about people like Edward Snowden, who showed us that intruding upon other people's lives is wrong. This movie has a lot of great morals, but that is probably my favorite one.
Imagine our second date, remember? All the sexy shit I was typing to you.
I sent you that sexy picture with the pineapple over my penis, and I blamed it on autocorrect. Yeah. It wasn't autocorrect.
So we are then introduced to Lele Pons, who climbs into Logan's room and films him jerking off. You're probably thinking, hey, this is a weird premise, and doesn't make any sense. Well, that's where you're wrong. I could go on and on about how brilliant this scene is, but your small brains wouldn't be able to comprehend my reasonings. The two begin to fight and show off this movie's brilliant choreography.
Suck it, bitch!
This fight scene, however, causes the Australian girl to leave, leaving our main character disarrayed. One of social media's greatest content creators, King Bach, enters the scene. Now, I have been told that his name isn't pronounced Bach, but Batch. Clearly you idiots don't know what you're talking about. King Bach obviously resembles one of history's greatest composers. Whenever King Bach enters into a scene, I just hear the music of Johann Sebastian Bach himself. King Bach delivers some very wise choice of words. This advice helps develop our main character, Logan. I could go on all day and discuss the brilliance behind this scene, but why don't I just let you experience the brilliant dialogue for yourself?
Bro, what are you in here doing, man? I worry about you. It's not your girlfriend. She's not a real girlfriend. She's a computer girlfriend. Huge difference. Real girlfriend? Computer girlfriend.
So the gang finds out that there's a convention coming up, and the only way to get to that convention is to fly. This is unfortunate news for our main character because he had a very terrible accident when he was a child, and poor Logan has been afraid of flying ever since.
How bad is it? You broke your femurs!
Fortunately, Logan Paul's foreign exchange brother convinces him to go to the convention. He reminds Logan that the girl he's been talking to is from Australia as well.
Time to say goodbye, old friend.
One more time for old time's sake.
No! You're making this harder than it has to be.
That's what I was hoping for.
Fine. But don't tell Ariel.
So, Logan talks to his lotion bottle, and much like the masterpiece Full Metal Jacket, the tone changes for the better. Now, we're not just in a brilliant comedy anymore. After experiencing Logan Paul talking to inanimate objects, we can see that he's very lonely. The relationships we saw earlier with Logan Paul and his friends are either dying or completely done. Just like in the movie Castaway, featuring Tom Hanks, the main character feels so isolated, they feel the need to talk to things that aren't alive. What a brilliant concept. Later on in the film, we meet the antagonist of Airplane Mode. Now, clearly this character is based off the villain Garland Green from Con Air, one of the greatest action movies of all time. Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, simply using references from other plane movies doesn't make the joke funny. Well, kiddo, that's where you're wrong. See, when they reference these really good movies that we all love, it also displays their great movie tastes. Now we truly understand how high of an IQ the writers of this film have.
Bye, Mom! Bye,
Wow. Not since the movie Scarface have I seen such subtle implications of incest in one's own family. As our main character is about to board the plane, he starts to undergo PTSD. Now, who has suffered PTSD the most? Vietnam soldiers. When our troops came back from Vietnam, we treated them with nothing but disrespect. This scene displays the horrors of war. How badly the Viet Cong treated our soldiers. Look how they shove him into the plane. The plane resembles water cages our troops were thrown into before they were tortured. So next time you beat up another Vietnam veteran, ask yourself, haven't they been through enough? Movies such as Deer Hunter and Platoon don't even attempt to show the horrors of the Vietnam War. But this one scene in Airplane Mode says everything. They did what Deer Hunter and Platoon couldn't do in 2 hours in 1 minute. As Logan Paul takes his seat, we meet Chloe Bridges, who's clearly not the love interest.
Welcome aboard Kowal Air Flight 1524 to Sydney, Australia. Quality you can trust. This is your Captain Thruffle with co-pilot Piness.
You're probably thinking, the lispy public speaker joke has already been done in Life of Brian. Well, believe it or not, the people behind Monty Python actually stole that joke from this movie. That may seem impossible, but you have to remember, such brilliance needs years of creation. And during the crafting of this film, those unfunny morons behind Monty Python stole one of the best jokes from Airplane Mode. How dare they have the balls to actually copy something from one of the greatest comedies of all time? Just hearing that story again really irks my fedora. So Logan shows off his scars in front of Chloe, and wouldn't you have it, she has the exact same injury on the exact same spot on her body. This is cute and all, but we know Logan has a girlfriend in Australia. There is no way Chloe will have a bigger role in the future of this film. So as the plane takes off, this for some reason causes the passengers to become excited. Maybe they're just incredibly grateful to be in this movie.
Hey boys.
Oh my god. Oh! I am so sorry. Oh, jeez. Sorry. Sorry about that. Okay.
Oh, yes. Forgive me for my precipitous laugh, but this joke is just utter brilliance. They were electrocuted because Airplane Mode was on. This causes one of the pilots to fall over on the other pilot's lap. And, wait for it, the flight attendant walks into the cockpit, and she believes that one of the pilots is giving the other pilot a blowjob. This joke will last throughout the ages. Why, when I become a grandfather, I will do my part and make sure to pass on the brilliant blowjob joke. Wow. Not since the film Oldboy have I seen such a gorgeous tracking shot. You guys can have your own opinions, but this is the pinnacle of cinematography. What, do you think Harakiri had cinematography way above its time? I suggest watching better movies, kid. Now, as you can see, this movie believes that simply being inappropriate makes you funny. And it does. Whenever someone in this film says poop or dildo, I easily burst with laughter.
Coffee, sir?
Yes, please.
Okay, and how would you like it?
Like I like my women, black and full of cream.
Now, if you've seen the classic comedy Airplane, you know where this joke came from. This joke might be seen as a poorly written version of the joke in Airplane, but I say nay. This joke is an enhancement on the classic 1980s comedy. Everyone knows pedophilia makes everything funnier. So the flight attendant finds out that the pilots are dead, and while she discusses this matter with the officer, our antagonist for the movie has found a way to escape his chains. Logan notices an incident happening and tries to figure out what's going on.
Holy shit!
While that's going on, one of the passengers finds the baby crawling around and takes it for his own.
Well, I think I can breastfeed this random baby wherever the fuck I want. God gave me nipples, and I'll be damned if I don't use them, okay?
Okay, well, little science lesson. Men don't produce breast milk, incidentally, so...
No! It's a miracle! That's not Diet Coke, bitch!
This scene is very important in the film. Even though it doesn't really affect the main plot, it's a good message for those who treat women horribly for breastfeeding in public. This message is often ignored, and I think it's time that we show these women that we support them. Political commentary in a movie is very difficult to do, but Airplane Mode does it perfectly.
Someday, all of this will be yours.
After that completely 100% necessary reference, Logan informs his foreign brother about the dead pilots.
Oh shit.
You taking a selfie?
Yeah, it's lit.
Many people may be saying, hey, this is pretty ironic. Logan Paul is the one being shocked about someone taking a picture with a dead body. And yeah, you'd be right. After some very strong words and flashbacks.
You can do it, Logan! You can do it!
If you won't do it for her, do it for my virginity.
Use your wings, you big pussy!
Logan decides he must fly the plane.
What are you doing here?
I'm gonna drive this plane.
Sorry, I just get goosebumps whenever he says that line. No doubt it'll be stapled as one of cinema's greatest movie lines. The acting, the music, the delivery, the line itself. Truly, the writers know how to hype up the audience.
Now you've got to raise the autopilot lever and engage the system.
Okay, what does it look like?
Big orange stick, mate. Can't miss it.
Wow. Absolutely brilliant special effects. Step aside, James Cameron. Clearly you're being outmatched here.
Yo! 5-15-24, we out here! Your boy keeps asking me to move his car! Follow me on Twitter, action! Fuck you, retarded!
This was truly a heart-wrenching moment. Black Bach was such a key player into this movie, such an important and significant character, and to lose him is like losing a part of this film. Not to mention his death was so well handled, so emotional, it's just the perfect send-off for this amazing character. Excuse me, I have a tear running down my cheek. Remember how mind-blowing and breathtaking that fight scene at the beginning of the movie was? Well, it's not even close to how well choreographed the ending fight scene between our main protagonist and our main antagonist is. Die Hard may be one of the greatest action movies of all time, but it is fucking shit compared to Airplane Mode. The music in this scene is so brilliant. It is unforgettable. Fuck the main theme of Terminator 2. Give me the Airplane Mode bathroom fighting OST. As we know, a villain is only as good as their motivation. Someone with malice intent, but possibly relatable motives. We can at least see their side and try to understand why they would behave this way. How could someone be this evil? Well, take a gander at this.
Oh, shit! Holy shit, what the hell are you doing?
Completing my master prank. There is no social media convention. With all of you dead, all of your followers will be mine. Imagine the power.
I don't know if I'm the only intelligent person who caught this, but Vitaly is clearly a representation of those who have fallen victim to social media. As Lily Pons has shown, you must backstab others in order to support yourself. It's an evil necessity. Vitaly is a shadow, the darkness that walks. In a way, Vitaly's character is a lot like the Greek god Pan. Just because of his half-human, half-goat form, people assume he's the Antichrist. Thus, he was quickly demonized. Just because Vitaly plays innocent pranks, he gets wrongfully thrown into jail. He's simply just misunderstood. So how do our heroes get out of this little jiffy? Well, in true hilarity, Logan's bird saves the day. Oh, well, isn't that cute? So much charm in this film. Besides the brilliant dialogue, notice the emotion coming from the delivery of that line. It makes me think that maybe at one point these two were friends. Logan does say, "I hope you die," that you cannot dispute. But much like Anakin Skywalker says, "I hate you" towards Obi-Wan Kenobi, we know these two had a past together. But before the loathsome connection they both share with each other, they were friends. No, closer than friends. Brothers. Just from that line alone, you can tell that Vitaly and Logan had a past together. This movie doesn't need to tell you that outright, but it just shows you through raw emotion. Fucking brilliance. After watching a YouTube video, Logan learns how to fly and land a plane, thus saving the lives of many innocent people. He truly is one of the greatest heroes of all time, and, dare I say, one of the best pilots of all time. At least he knew where he was going. Oh yes, I'm so glad Logan saved all of these very well-developed and likable characters. Oh, the comedy just doesn't stop. As we know, simply being loud makes you incredibly funny.
I had one split second to ejaculate into this Tupperware so I could let my seed live on. Put it in your vagina. Make a new baby.
It still doesn't bring my baby back.
What, your old baby? Give me my seed back. You don't deserve it. You do not deserve.
As the man swallowed his own semen, it made me think, wow, this is very familiar. Of course, this moment is symbolism of God swallowing away all the sinners on planet Earth. Just like the man swallowing his semen, he did not find her worthy to carry on his seed. Just like how God didn't find us worthy. So he flooded out the sinners. Except, of course, Noah, his family, and two of every animal. And who resembles Noah of Ark in this film? None other than our main character, Logan Paul, who also saved living beings from being killed. These subtle connections are all over in the movie. These writers are true geniuses. So we see that Logan Paul's foreign brother ends up with the Australian girl that Logan has been trying to go after this entire movie. So who does Logan Paul end up with?
Well, not bad.
Holy shit, I did not see that coming. I can't believe how unpredictable that was. So we see in the ending shot that Logan Paul's foreign exchange brother is running on a beach while a kangaroo hops beside him. Now, as we all know, kangaroos resemble power, balance, and family. And what does Logan Paul do at the end of this film? Accept his foreign exchange brother as his real brother, making him officially a part of his family.
Your foreign exchange brother is still a virgin.
Nah, man. My brother is still a virgin.
There's just so much symbolism in this film, and only true intellectuals such as myself will find them. Even though this movie just came out, it continues to be one of the greatest films of all time. The critics don't know what they're talking about. They gave it a low rating because they're jealous. Jealous of its brilliance.